From the gateway to bourbon country in Louisville, Kentucky, welcome to the Firkin podcast, where every drink tells a story. I'm Brian.
I'm Chris. What's going on, Brian?
Well, you know, Chris, I always thought I had a modicum of talent.
That was good.
You know what I'm saying?
That was good.
Yeah.
Look at your play on words. Did you do that before we go on?
I did.
What a great segue into our guest.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
I appreciate that.
That's good. So we have JD and Eric from
Hi.
Modica.
Yeah, that's
Look
it.
at this.
What's going on? Gosh, it's like you knew. It's like you knew, Ryan. Good
Crazy.
job, buddy.
Welcome to the show,
Yeah, what's
Modica.
going on, guys? How are you?
Awesome. Even better now.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're getting ready to start drinking.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Is that what it was?
That's exactly it.
So before we get into anything crazy, because we're gonna have more than enough time to talk about you guys and your company. I haven't had a drink yet today. It is 5:56. It was a long day.
It was a long
Yeah,
day.
let's fix that.
Let's
situation.
just go ahead and fix that. So real fast, what you guys make are ready to drink mocktails, right? Am I saying that all correctly?
Yeah, kind of. So they are cocktail and mocktail mixers. So you can mix them with spirits, which is what we're going to do today, but you can also mix them with club soda or like an NA spirit if you want something non-alcoholic.
Perfect. And then best part is we have one that's not going to be drinking is all the good stuff with us.
I'll be sampling the mocktails.
So yes,
There you go.
and here, since he said club soda and everything, we do have some club soda and some limes up on
That's
the
right.
table. So if we want to add a little carbonation, anything like that to it,
Love it.
you just won't be having as much fun as this side of the table.
I know.
Nothing I can do about that. All right, so what's this first one that we? The best part is we already have that first part poured.
Yep.
And
so
what do we got?
We have got the cucumber aloe margarita. It's one of our original 3 flavors. So really playing on cucumber flavoring there, a little bit of aloe, a little bit of a twist on your traditional margarita, a little bit lighter than
Okay.
what you might normally have.
Well, before we add all the good stuff to it, why don't we take like a little bit of a sample, just understand the mocktail part of it. What do you
Let's see
think?
what we're rocking
Let's
here.
do it.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells so good. Yeah, this is like going to be an ASMR.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
that is tasty.
Good.
Yeah.
So it is made to be mixed, so it's going to be a little more concentrated just by itself, but you get an idea of
Yeah.
the flavor.
And we have met people who just drink it straight from the bottle. And I met this, she was so sweet, this older lady one time who just told me she takes a shot of the turmeric ginger mule every morning.
Sure.
She says, I used to
Turmeric
take a
gets you going,
ginger
doesn't it?
pill. I was like, well, maybe keep doing that.
Does she do it
I'm not a
with the
doctor.
alcohol in it
No,
also?
just
Okay.
straight mixer.
That's how I do mine every
Well,
morning.
That's right.
That's the way to do it.
It's with the ginger and a shot.
We did have a doctor
you
on the
go.
show a few episodes ago, so we'll call her up and see if
And
that's,
make
if
sure
that's good.
it's-
Yeah.
Make sure.
We'll,
I'm sure that she'll say that works.
It's fine. It's fine.
So let's go ahead and add. Let's add a little fun to it.
Yeah, what are we
Let's
adding
do
here?
it.
Yeah, so we're actually adding Don Julio. I think this is the 70th anniversary. So this is the Cristaliano tequila. So this is a añejo tequila that has all of the color and everything that has been
Right.
removed out of it. So this is a really good tequila.
I'm excited about it.
It's a really good tequila.
And this, you can tell it's super easy because I'm not
Look at this guy.
doing anything scientific here, but it just mixes 1-to-1. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. But if you're a little more type A, you can definitely measure it out.
Let's see how this
Now,
changed.
you add a little club soda to yours. So here's the best part. We didn't plan this, but this podcast, we're showing off all the ways you can drink Modica.
That's
Totally.
absolutely. Look
We
at
like
this.
the thing as a plan. The only downside is he's not enjoying some of the stuff that's on this backboard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I can
feel
dig on that.
really good about that.
Oh, man.
As you
That is-
should.
Yeah.
So how's that compare? Because I have not had it with tequila. I've only had it with a little bit of bourbon and one of them before, but I've not had it with all tequila. So what does that compare to on some of the other tequilas you've had?
Yeah, I have never had this Don Julio 70, and it's fantastic.
You want to go buy one now?
I
don't
mean,
you?
yeah, I do. I do, definitely.
That's
yeah,
what we're here
that
for.
is really
is
good.
to sell products.
That's right.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, that's just really, really good. Let's get right into you guys. How did we get here? So, looking a little bit about your history, where you guys came from. So, bartending background, marketing background, making mocktail cocktails. How do we get there?
Totally. Yeah, so my background is in cocktails. I have the product experience. So cocktails and mixology for over a decade. I've opened several bars and restaurants in Louisville. And then JD and myself met in business school getting our MBAs. We're actually in the entrepreneurship MBA program. So you know how those go. You're working long days, full-time jobs and hours of night classes, and at the end of those super long days, you're just exhausted. And me and JD really loved having a cocktail to unwind with. And so, even though that's my background and my experience, at the end of a long day, I don't want to muddle or infuse anything from scratch. I just want to enjoy a nice drink.
Yeah, and despite that I just, quote unquote, made a cocktail, that is not my background. I can barely squeeze a lime. Didn't learn how to make a cocktail until I was 28. Didn't know anything. So I come from a totally different world, mostly marketing, sales, customer service, all those kind of adjacent functions. But like Eric said, we wanted a cocktail at the end of the day. Started looking at mixers, couldn't find anything that we really wanted. And we're in this entrepreneurship program. So we thought, okay, this is it. This is why we're here. So worked on it for a couple years and had everything pulled together to launch Modica in March of 2020. Called our co-packer probably 2 weeks before
like I know where
COVID
this is
really hit. And they said, sorry.
We're broke.
They were raking it in. They started making hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
didn't have time
just
for us.
for 6 months straight, hand sanitizer.
Did this launch then?
No, we had to delay till November, right in
Okay.
time for Thanksgiving, which is maybe
Hey.
the second most important time
That's
people
right.
needed it. So launched in November, got picked up by our distributor pretty quickly in Kentucky. And we've been expanding mostly in Kentucky until the last year. Eric and I went full time, and then we've started expanding to a few other states.
Well, first off, congratulations for
Oh,
doing
thank you.
that.
Thank
Like
you.
that's
Yeah.
got to be it's got to be really rewarding. Just
It is,
you're
yeah,
like,
for
man,
sure.
look what we started, and we were able to leave our jobs to do it now.
It's insane when I think about like this whole thing used to just be a business plan.
Right.
Like it started, we were typing it on our computers, and now we're here. I'll never get over it. Never.
So let me ask you, just because we've kind of done that same thing, were one of you guys more the push than the other? Were you both going for it at the same time? Was one harder to get off the ball than the other? Or were you both just kind of like, yeah, we're game, let's just go do it?
Yeah. I think we complement each other really well. Eric is much more of like, I think a visionary ideas, and then
Big picture.
big picture for sure.
And JD's more on the details. And I would say also I'm more of like a pump the accelerator, JD's pump the brakes.
Yeah.
You need both. You need both.
Yo, you do,
rest,
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Good
That
point.
makes sense.
So which one was the first one?
The first one, let's see. I think it was the margarita.
I think it was too.
Okay.
So we kind of developed all three of them in tandem, but the margarita got finalized first. And then the old fashioned. I think the mule took quite a bit. That ginger flavor was a little tricky, but we finally got it just right. So those are our first original three.
Nice.
But it took probably a year to get them
Oh, for
where we
sure.
wanted them. I mean,
Yeah.
at one point we had tasted so many margaritas that I thought, do I even like these anymore? Like,
Hate margaritas.
Can't find any of they all suck.
it was so,
Do I even
so
want to drink
existential.
cocktails? Like,
I was like, what is a margarita?
That's great.
But you had plenty before you were
Oh,
28. You just
God,
hadn't
yeah.
mixed them. Right?
Professional.
Yes, that's right.
You weren't making them yourself by any means.
No.
Chi-Chis.
Connoisseur. Yeah.
That's where all the bad hangovers came over that we talked
Exactly.
about earlier.
Yeah.
No
So
wonder
it
you
was
didn't like
Chi-Chi.
margaritas anymore. You're spending too much time in Chi-Chis. Come on, people.
Has anybody ever said they've spent too much time at Chi-Chi's?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I've never heard it.
I've never heard that saying before. Usually when you leave, you're a little bit sick.
Yeah, that's true.
That tracks.
Just a thought.
So Eric, you said you came from the nightclub world, yeah?
I do. Yeah, I still own a nightclub now, currently, the Hub on Frankfurt Avenue.
Okay,
so
yeah.
that's a lot of fun. Very different world. So it's fun. Some days I'll work this 9 to 5 and then go straight into a very different 9 to 5
Yeah.
at night. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. But
Wow, so you're doing both.
doing both. This is definitely the full-time gig. The Hub is kind of doesn't take up too much of my time.
Running
these
itself
days.
a little bit
A little
more.
bit. Yeah, we've been going for 8 years. So at this point, it's kind of on cruise control.
They using a lot of Modica?
We are
There
actually. The
you go.
margarita is the best-selling cocktail.
Damn
So-
right.
And hopefully they had somebody that would buy it over there. I mean, like you.
You're right. Exactly.
Hopefully you can get the bartender to stock it.
The guy that runs that place is a total dick. He won't buy my stuff. What's the matter with him?
Having full-on conversations with each other.
I'm
Making
pitching
him
it to
sell.
Eric. Yeah.
Just say, I don't know if it's right here.
Well, let me sell you on it.
That's wonderful. The Hub, I actually looked it up a little bit. You have a lot of cool experiences and all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's
that
cool
happen.
looking spot.
We do. It's a fun place.
Yeah.
It's kind of an upscale bar We recently just took a little pause on the kitchen, so now we're focusing mostly on the nighttime nightclub part, but it's a lot of fun. We have Latin night on Fridays, and then Saturdays more like hip hop and dance. It's a really good time.
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Is it like a 4 a.m. type spot?
It is.
Oh,
I mean, 3 a.m. We usually close at 3, but yeah, it's some late nights.
Aren't they talking about changing the time to 2 a.m. in Louisville?
They are, and I'm very on board with that. I'm a morning person,
I bet
so
you
I'm in the wrong
Get me out of
in
here.
the wrong industry.
I am also like when you were like saying 3 a.m. I'm like, God bless, man.
Like, why
I'm
are we
almost
up
ready
at
to get
this
up out
late?
of bed at 3 a.m.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
So
What is going
what
on?
got you into nightclubs?
That's honestly it just kind of happened. So that career bartender, mixologist, stumbled upon my business partner. He's one of my best friends, also best friends with my boyfriend for over 20 years. And we just came upon the space. He had previously owned a nightclub, and it just kind of all fell into place. It's a lot, the hours are later and there's headaches, it's a lot more, the profit margins are a lot better than a restaurant, a lot less headaches. So there's that. It just
Just have to deal with the drunk people at the end of the night.
You do have to do that, and it's funny. My business partner is a kindergarten teacher, so
Fantastic. So he knows exactly how to
he's
deal with
basically
them.
the same thing. He's babysitting people all day long.
No difference at all.
What the hell are you people doing around there?
A drunk person at
Jesus.
2 a.m. and a kindergarten
The
teacher.
exact
is-
same.
Yeah,
Literal same.
absolutely the same thing.
And JD, you were more out of the corporate world.
Yeah. Right before Modica, I worked for this company called Mercer that does a lot of like HR management, HR sales, and I was doing a lot of sales there, which is so weird to think back now.
That's why
what I
you
was
pump the
doing.
brakes so much.
Yeah, right.
It's the corporate.
Yeah, it is. It's,
Like, we need a couple more meetings about this, guys.
Sorry, we cannot say yes until we have 13 phone calls, 27 meetings.
Oh my God, Eric is gonna start agreeing with you.
It's true.
No, it's like those kind of like habits you learn in the corporate world. Like, this is how you write a corporate email. They don't just go away when suddenly
you're
you
right.
leave. And
That's
so it's
right.
like, sometimes I have to email Eric. I'm like, Eric, you have to write this email. It's not going to sound right. It's going to be weird and formal.
And vice versa, because I don't come from that world. So sometimes I'll write something and it's literally just like ripping somebody a new one. And JD's like, how about we like corporate that up just a little bit? I'm like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Yin yang.
Yeah.
That's good. Sounds like a good mix, though. I mean, that's
It
for
is,
real.
yeah.
No, it sounds like a good mix. I mean, and I know that whole email world because I am in the corporate world,
Yeah,
and I
you
also
get it.
I
You get
also
it.
talk not corporately. And I usually have to look at it and say, "Huh, well, that wasn't professional at all."
What are they going to say at my mid-year review about
that'd be
this?
great.
Yeah.
that was spelled wrong. Periods in the wrong place. You get the point. If you don't write me back.
That's right.
I got to go back to this just for a second. This is so good.
Oh, thank you.
Like
you like it.
I liked it when we were trying it for the first time with a little like club soda and stuff like that. But man,
Much better with tequila.
oh my gosh,
It's
not
nice
even
because
fair.
so they're obviously like better for you and like low sugar and all that, but because of that they're take a little bit more of a, they don't outshine the tequila, they let the tequila shine also.
Absolutely.
So that's the great part of it. It's only like a 1-to-1 mix rather than 4 parts mixer to 1 part tequila.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. So are all of them, and clearly one of them could be different, but are all of them mostly 1-to-1?
They are, except for the old fashioned. Just by the nature of old
old-fashioned.
fashions, you
Sure.
use less mixture for that. But the rest of them are all 1-to-1, so makes it easy.
And I mean, just like you said, it just makes cocktail making easy.
Oh.
The worst part, like when I come home, my wife wants a cocktail. I'm like, God bless, I really don't want to do it. Like, I'm tired. I've also worked all day long, and I don't want to make a full-blown cocktail.
same.
So much
At
easier.
family gatherings, everyone's like, "What are you making?" I'm like, "Nothing. It's Christmas for me too. I'm on vacation."
That's right.
Drinking out of a goddamn bottle. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to take the bottle. I'm going to sit over here and drink it.
Yeah.
And you can tell the whole family, like, that's the guy we don't talk to.
Yeah.
You don't leave yourself alone with him.
No, you don't know where you'll end up.
Yeah,
really.
you're not sure. Questions are asked.
Yeah.
just let him be by himself.
We did though. I mean, Eric talks about that, how he doesn't love being like family bartender. And so we put on the back of each bottle a recipe to make a pitcher.
Right.
So you can just use the whole bottle. You set it
beautiful.
out.
Super easy.
You're set.
Yeah.
Quick batch cocktail.
That's all you do.
That's a great point because being a family bartender, I mean that's your career and that's what people think that you want to go do.
For sure.
at
And
a
if your
party.
family drinks like my family does, if you make one nice drink, that's what you're doing the rest of the evening.
He's
So
not leaving from the
buckle
the
up.
rest of the night.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, honey, come here and check out Eric's new drink that he
that's
made
delicious.
for us. Come
We're so
on.
proud
Eric,
of
will you
him.
make Mary one of those, please?
Let me go get the neighbors. They're gonna love this."
Before you know, you've juiced half a crate of limes, and
That's right.
your arm's falling off. It's a whole thing.
He's got a whole entire he's taking the whole countertop. It's got-
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be awful.
He's filed an LLC.
Exactly.
I'm in the weeds here, man. Can I get somebody? Can I get a bar back? Come on. Huh? Good
Yeah,
Lord.
so
Calling
now,
JD, he's not picking up the phone.
Yeah.
because he doesn't
He
care. He's probably
knows.
ordering drinks.
He
Oh
knows.
yeah. Well, even now, since I have these mixers, my family thinks like, oh, well, you're a bartender now. You can just do this at all the family gatherings.
He's like,
You're
no,
like,
this is
here
the
you go.
bartender.
Right,
One,
exactly.
one.
That's why I put them in these bottles.
Yeah.
If you're nice, maybe I'll cut up a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you're good, there's a garnish.
Yeah. But more than likely not, because that required extra work.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nobody wants to cut it up. Hell, the knife might be dull. You don't know. Yeah, so man, that's awesome. I love that you said that it lets the tequila shine through,
Totally.
because it really does. I mean, I've had it both ways, and honestly, the tequila just really kind of opens it up a little bit more. Really hides any harshness from the tequila. Downside, we didn't really pick a harsh tequila.
That's true.
Very
we picked
true.
a very, very smooth, phenomenal tequila.
Yeah.
Very true.
That JD may be buying on the way home.
Oh,
somewhere.
absolutely. That.
Just stopping
Yeah.
at liquor store from liquor. It's like,
Yeah.
do you have this?
He's already Instacarted it to his house.
That's right. He'll go on, do you have this? And, if you don't have this, you should also have some Modica.
Do you give a case discount? What's the deal here?
How about a trade?
Yeah. Let's enact the bartering system.
In lieu of product, we're game for that.
I love it. Let's take a quick break. Let's move on to the second one, get to know a little bit more about each one of these flavors here. All
That
right.
sounds wonderful.
Cool. We'll be right back. At the Firkin Podcast, we like to explore the stories behind the drinks. We've done that throughout the first few episodes with a number of amazing guests, and we want to keep bringing great content to you. I want to encourage everyone to become a Firker at patreon.com/FirkinPodcast. Help support the show and make what we're doing possible. That's patreon.com/FirkinPodcast. Benefits include early access to shows, pre-sale tickets, cutting room floor content. Who could ask for more? Come make the show possible. That's patreon.com/FirkinPodcast. Now we have JD Mitchell and Eric Wentworth from Modica.
Just real fast, what did you pour for us?
So this is our tart cherry old fashioned mix, and it is a little bit of a kind of a sweeter old fashioned to kind of appeal to the masses. However, I recommend for seasoned old fashioned drinkers, as I'm sure you all are,
I've had one or two.
100 proof bourbon is pretty much the sweet spot. So that's what we poured is the Rittenhouse Rye 100 proof. So that should be right perfectly balanced for this
Cool.
old fashioned where it's not too sweet.
Little Rittenhouse Rye. This is actually a private single barrel select right here. And this is rye is made from, this is coming out of Heaven Hill.
Love it.
And rye has a really, really strong grain in the United States. It really was our first kind of true spirit right after the rum embargo. It's, all the Scottish and Irish immigrants came over and thought, we got to still drink. So what can we make? Oh, shit, there's a lot of rye around
lot of
here. Let's
rye.
go ahead and figure out if we can make
Make it
something to
work.
drink out of it. And sure they did. And now we have a Pennsylvania-style rye from Heaven Hill, which rye is my favorite thing to
Hell
make
of a
old
drink.
fashions out of.
I love a good
yeah.
rye, especially in old fashioned.
Oh, yeah, because it just holds up so much better. So we got that right here with and you said that this is called the Cherry Tart Old Fashioned.
Tart cherry old
Tart
fashioned.
cherry
Yeah,
old
so it's got
Cherry Old
some,
Fashioned.
obviously some tart cherry extract in there and juice as well, and then little bitters in it. So it literally has everything you need. Just add your bourbon, and there's also some orange peel, some baking spices.
So good.
Yeah,
That's straight up, man.
Oh,
That's good.
man,
I love that
that's
one.
so
Yeah.
good. I could drink.
And that
a lot
rye
of
shines
those.
through there, man.
Oh, it really does.
Yeah.
And just like you said earlier, it doesn't overpower the drink, and the mixer is not like watering it all down. Now, I will say I think that making sure it's 100 proof, something that's going to hold up in a cocktail, is still
Totally.
very important, no matter
Yeah.
anything you're putting in it, because you want to make sure that it's going to not just get watered down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I found 100 proof is pretty much the sweet spot for old fashions.
I agree.
And rye is great too because it has, less sweetness, so it really holds up more. It doesn't overpower the sweetness. So yeah.
Completely agree.
Super great.
Are you a whiskey drinker?
Sometimes not as much.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more in the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not so much. Usually like clear spirits.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
What about you?
Usually, well, seasonal for me too, but I do love a good old fashioned. So having that in the fridge is pretty dangerous because an old fashioned's always like 15 seconds away at any given time. So
That is dangerous.
It's a little dangerous.
Now we have rye whiskey in ours. What did you do in yours? You just
I
do a
did the
little club
mocktail
soda?
version, so I added some club soda. It actually turns it into kind of like a cherry soda. It's a very different flavor profile. It's
Oh,
delicious.
wow.
Yeah.
The color difference also. I mean, look at that. You got this like nice little like light pinkish type of color too.
Totally.
Versus mine looks like a typical old fashioned.
It does. That's cute. Look at this.
We were talking to this customer one time. We were just joking. We're like, oh yeah, with this, it's so good, but you can have an old fashioned like way too quickly. And he said, oh, I know. I make them by the pitcher. I was like,
Wait a
Just stick a straw in it.
yeah. I was like, yeah. He said, yeah, I had a couple of friends over last night. We made 2 pitchers. I was like, Lord, 2 pitchers for 3 friends? Like,
I actually did that one
crush
time
it.
at one of my family gatherings. It did not end well.
This is why you're the guy
That's
that
what
they
they
tell
get.
don't talk to Eric in the corner.
Exactly. They still,
He
they
just
still
had
bring
the
that up.
pitcher and a straw, and he just sat back and drank.
And one thing that you said a little bit earlier, just I wanted to get back to. One of the challenges when you go to the grocery store, the liquor store, is finding a good mixer, right?
yeah.
I know that problem especially well. I'll be sent find a mixer, and I'm like looking around, like there's nothing on this shelf that I want.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll
There's
end
orange
up
juice.
getting some juice, right? Basically,
Yep.
or some club soda or something, But yeah, I mean, you saw an opportunity there, and you guys came into the market advertising the superfood quality, the sugar content, and the vitamins and electrolytes.
Yep.
Let's get into it, just a little bit of the ingredients that are behind these drinks.
Yeah, totally. So true to story, true to origin, that was one of the big things that we were really focused on. So many of the mixers we found were full of sugar. So we knew immediately we didn't want to have tons and tons of sugar. We wanted it to be really low. We knew we wanted it to be less than 10 grams per serving. So at that point, we started wondering like, okay, well, are there other ways that we could make this a little bit better for you that might be surprising to
Yeah.
people? And this was, I would say well into the whole functional beverage movement when
Sure.
people are drinking, like when vitamin water first came out or whatever, all of these mocktails now too have lots of added benefits. So we thought, okay, well, what if we fortified them with vitamins, B vitamins, so that if you're having spirits, in theory, those vitamins are keeping you a little more hydrated.
Sure.
You're going to wake up less hungover. We can't officially say you don't wake up hungover, but I don't know. We've put it through the
Hello,
paces.
marketing.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
We tested it.
This is where that marketing comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we thought, why not add electrolytes that does the same kind of thing, keeps
Absolutely.
you hydrated. And this was even before like Liquid IV and Element started coming out. So I wish we'd had that idea too.
Shit, right?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Genius idea.
our whole thesis was, okay, how do we take the drinks that you're already drinking, make them taste better, and then also at a quality that matches the spirit you're mixing with?
Yeah.
And better for you.
Yeah.
You're drinking a cocktail, so it's not ever going to be great for you, but let's make it as good for you as
As
it can
better
be.
as you can, other than just drinking out of the bottle.
Totally. Yeah.
So we said low sugar.
Low sugar. Yeah. So we
Low
use
sugar.
a blend of cane sugar and stevia.
Okay.
So that brings down the sweetness, but the sugar content allows you to not taste the stevia. So it's it still tastes great, but it's low sugar. So kind of best of both worlds.
So do you guys remember any of your market research while you were doing this?
The product testing,
Product testing.
those were very blurry back then. I tasted a lot
What do
of
you think of
cocktails.
this? This is good.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, as a bartender, is very seasoned at doing tasting. So he would have the spit buckets and he would not swallow. But the very first time I tried to use one, it just like dribbled down my chin. It was humiliating. So I thought,
That's true. He is in the industry, and you know that one of the things, if you're going to taste a lot of stuff, you got to spit.
Gotta spit.
And if not, you're going to have a bad
oh
situation.
yeah. And I just said, well, I'm not going to look embarrassing. I'm
Just gonna
not
swallow
doing
it.
that. So I drank everything, and we would sometimes do the tastings in the morning, and I could feel like around 11, I was like, oh shit, like
I am hammered.
there's the day.
We're done for the day.
There was one time at 11:30, it was like right before, it was 11:30, I was like, Eric, I think I have a hangover.
Yeah.
And he was like, you haven't
Already?
even had lunch. Anyway.
Yeah, that
Great.
that's pretty good. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. You know, just kind of about the different flavors because they're kind of different. I mean, they're not just your typical flavors. And I read somewhere one of you guys was like playing around with like a seaweed cocktail. Is that you?
That's Eric. That's Eric.
Yeah, so let's hear
Like,
more
what
about
the
the
hell? Like,
seaweed
did that go
cocktail.
Let me preface this a little bit. Eric is like big time foodie, does lots of like excellent meals.
Sure.
And has lots of like really great ideas. And this goes back to like that yin and yang.
Let's
piece.
also frame this in context. My boyfriend is Japanese. I have a Japanese aunt. Japanese Asian foods are favorite.
You're trying to fill in the
very,
Asian. I hear
yeah,
you.
very
Okay.
familiar with all that world. But yeah.
But one day he's just like, JD, what do you think about a seaweed martini? And I was like, I think you're bullshitting, right?
Is it April 1st? That's right.
Yeah. I said, you will buy that, and 10 people in Brooklyn will buy that. And that's it.
And it'll all be very pretentious.
Right. Yeah.
I
Okay.
got the seaweed cocktail.
Hear me out though. That's when my
we're listening.
mixologist brain was going. My marketing brain was not going at that time. So if you think about like a dirty martini, that flavor
Sure.
profile works
Okay.
incredibly well with like a kombu or some kind of seaweed. It's got that earthy, that salinity notes to it. It would be fantastic drink on a menu at like a fancy
At
restaurant
a very,
that I would
very
open.
high-end type of club.
Not so
I
much
like that you
for-
said that I would do.
I would
It
open, yeah.
absolutely would be the leading cocktail.
This is my pop-up restaurant that lasts a
Exactly.
weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Now for a product, probably not the best.
You
gonna
let
say-
us know. Send us a comment. Would you buy
Will
this
you buy
seaweed
the
martini?
seaweed martini? I can already say I'm turned off by the name.
It needs better branding.
You can name it something else.
A little bit. That's where we bring in the marketing person, and he said,
Exactly.
"Fuck no."
Yeah.
He's like, "That's not gonna work."
Next up is the kimchi
yin and yang.
cosmopolitan, right?
That's exactly it.
You already gave him it.
Coming in hot.
Why did you say that? He's gonna go back
I'm taking
immediately.
notes.
But part of me is like, release it as a mystery flavor. Don't tell people it's seaweed.
Oh,
they
yeah.
will love
There you
it.
go.
Like the old like Jolly Rancher type thing. It's like
Yeah.
mystery flavor.
put a
'cause
question mark
we
on
didn't
it.
know what it was.
Yeah.
we're hoping you do.
It's just umami.
Yeah.
That's what you say.
There you go, right?
Unami flavored. You know, that's always something I pick up off the as soon as it says unami flavor. I'm like, huh, they don't know what it is either.
Yeah. So as you guys were going through your testing, was there any that just didn't land? Or did you guys do a pretty good job?
Is there a
kinda-
secret one that we're like, this is awful?
We did a what was the very first margarita?
Trying to remember.
It was green. It was we
I think so. Superfoods, obviously.
Yeah.
the thing. That's why.
Sure.
That's the reason for
So
all the
we're trying to
flavors.
go through everything.
but the
yeah.
main
we
ingredient was
tried
green. We couldn't use it.
Super greens margarita at one point.
All right. Yeah.
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll.
Yeah.
Chlorophyll.
Yeah.
It just rolls off the tongue.
Uh-huh.
Let me have the chlorophyll.
I'll have one of your chlorophyll margaritas.
Sounds like
Wait
you're
a
trying to
minute.
drug me.
Isn't this the thing that people kidnap people with?
You're supposed to put over your drink when the bartender makes it.
Exactly.
That's what they tell the bartender to serve them when they're afraid of the guy that's with them. They're like, can I get the chlorophyll? And then
Exclusively
the
at the
bartender
hub.
calls the cops, you know?
See, there's a market. There's a market.
Yeah.
There's a market. Exclusively at the club, at the hub, the chlorophyll.
Oh my God.
Not at the hub. We do not sell at the hub.
Oh, That's a really good. The core, man.
That's pretty impressive.
So I would
like
love
that.
to have seen your face as you guys were like tasting this and just be like, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Well, and we did a lot of things initially in the beginning, like for small batch that wouldn't work in large batch. So we thought a lot about, okay, what are we using to sweeten this? We knew we didn't want to use refined sugar, but like, what about monk fruit? Or we experimented a lot with dates,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was not, which in hindsight, like you can buy
Sounds good.
date syrup and like
Yeah.
great,
Yes.
but I have very vivid memories of Eric sitting there with
like
a
we're
big
gonna
pile
get-
of dates.
Pureeing,
Just like
straining.
cutting them open and
Yeah.
pureeing them, straining them. It was like, it's going to take us 8 hours to make one bottle.
This bottle's gonna be $47.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much money went into the date
A lot
cocktail?
of trial and error.
Yeah.
there.
But honestly, the date was great.
It tasted
It was
great.
good.
It was just you couldn't
just
figure out
it
how to
would not-
monetize that.
No.
Can't monetize the
No.
date, huh?
Maybe
Not yet.
you should have looked at Pawpaws.
Yeah.
Pawpaws.
Indiana banana.
That's amazing. We were just talking about pawpaws in the last episode that just released, and that was it is a fruit that nobody really knows. That's right. Around here.
Indiana
I'm so glad that you do. It did not come up as that it was the Indiana banana.
No, that's
I
a
fucking wish
new
it
twist. I love it.
did. I wish that it did.
Also use those in a weird cocktail at one point.
Sure, you
It
did.
was really good.
If you came up with a seaweed cocktail, I'm sure that you used that.
Eric does come up with some like really cool stuff. He did this cocktail at the Hub that had that edible flower in it.
Oh,
Ooh.
have y'all ever had? It's called an electric daisy.
No.
Also called a buzz button. They're these little flowers. I don't really know how to describe them, but you eat them, you chew them up, and your entire mouth. The best way I can describe the sensation is like you're chewing on like TV static.
Exactly.
It almost,
Really?
It almost like
Really?
goes
Yeah.
numb, and things taste weird and differently. So you would eat this, and then or take a sip of your cocktail and try it, eat it, and then try it again. After a few minutes, it would taste totally different in your mouth. It's just
Holy
this crazy
crap.
experience. Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Actually,
I'm
we
gonna
still
have
have
to
that on the
try that.
menu at the Hub. We do a shot with it now. It's called the electric mango shot. So
Oh,
you
sounds
ever
like
come
we're
visit?
going to the Hub, buddy.
Sounds like you are.
It's worth it.
If they got electric daisies, I'm there, man. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't get to that part. Did you train? Are you a trained mixologist? Did you learn a lot of this? Like, did you go to school for it? Did you go to like mixology school?
know, I
how did you get in
I
it?
did actually do bartending school way back in the day, years and years ago. But really, the most experience and most valuable lessons I learned just from doing it, working in restaurants. I worked all over the city in my day. I've worked at Proof, St. Charles Exchange, La Coupe, and the list goes on. But yeah, that was my career before. And
So
then
it was a lot more hands-on than anything
a lot more
else.
hands-on. Yeah, a lot of trial and error.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what is going to taste good. I mean, even though, yes, we are joking about seaweed cocktails and all that type of stuff. Absolutely. But I mean,
But he might be right.
absolutely. He could be.
wait till I make it
I've
for you.
tasted a lot. I mean, I'm a foodie person myself, and
Yeah.
like I am so game to taste something first before I make the suggestion. Like, yeah, we're joking on the names of those cocktails, but if you absolutely poured one to me, and if it's good, well, just like Eric, we should probably name it something.
It's a
Seaweed
rebrand.
cocktail just doesn't roll off the tongue.
It would be delicious. It's a delicious drink with a marketing problem. You figure it out.
There
Which
you
is
go.
where the yin and yang come
Yeah,
in again.
exactly. Yeah.
It's just, Eric, do not sell a seaweed cocktail.
Don't worry, it's not happening.
Should have released it as like a collaboration with the Little Mermaid.
Oh my
Would've
God.
sold.
There it
It
is.
would have sold
That's it.
tremendously.
You could have a little fish swimming around in it.
Jesus.
Flounder's
came up with
favorite.
Did you see how well the Barbie movie has sold?
Sushi at the same time.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wild.
Guys, if you just come up with a pink cocktail right now and brand it the Barbie cocktail,
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
do fine.
Good to go.
Yeah. Stick that logo on
Hold on,
anything
trademarking
right
that
now.
one.
Yeah. Never mind. He just bought it. This is the whole goal of our podcast. Steal your ideas.
It's a good business model.
Well, thanks for coming in, guys. You can take off now. I got it.
We keep you here just as long as everybody's back here listening. It's like, oh, what kind of good ideas can we go through and trademark real fast?
The first thing when I heard Modica, I typed it into Google, and it's a small town in Sicily.
Yeah.
Right?
You already did more research
The
than
bottom
we
was
did.
just little.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. They named it after this little city in this ancient
That's
city.
so nice that
And
you think that.
And then I read that you named it after Modica.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Honestly, we
like,
might
all right,
change
that's
the
cool
story.
Too. I like
It's
that.
so much better.
You
that
should.
way.
I think so.
We named it after this tiny little
Yeah.
silly.
We had a
remote
fantastic
vacation.
cocktail.
Culinary experience.
It's what just gave us the inspiration to come back.
I
and
was
do
like,
this.
look, there's poets, there's artists. Look at this place. It's amazing.
Hello, we wrote the story for you. 2% of the company.
Yeah.
Literally updating our website as well.
Right now.
What a great name. It rolls off the tongue. When I brought you guys in to actually taste this at a recent show, the first thing I think I told you when I actually had the meeting, I left a couple bottles on my table. And I walk you guys out, and this lady just loses her shit. And she was like, oh my God, are we going to carry this? I was like, yeah, I think so. I was like, should we? And she's like, I love all of them. And then I think she didn't have the new one that you just came out with, the blueberry.
My favorite.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, I
good.
mean, lost her mind about it. And again, something just still so local, just really, really starting to blow up. So
Yeah.
it's just so neat to see.
It's been so incredible to see the reception because I mean Eric and I will do in-person events which are so fun because you get to talk to people about how they use it, what they're doing, and there's always an oddball question every single time we do an event, and Eric and I will just make eye contact and be like, this is it, this is the weird exchange, but on it, it's all great. I love it's so fun, and
Totally.
We talked about this as you guys were coming in, that Louisville has really kind of started to latch on to not just the alcohol aspect of bourbon and things like that, but to the beverage aspect with such great items, just no difference in Modica, to Focus, to Alani and things like that are coming out. How does it feel to, I guess, launch in a city like this that seems to, I don't know, we really seem to support our own here as you're kind of loading up and coming out to market for the first time? Like, how does that feel with this group of Louisvillians behind you?
Yeah. Well, Louisville is a great city for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is because it has a lot of the big city appeals for being a relatively small city.
That's right. Yeah.
And because of that size, you can know someone if you want to know them.
You're right.
Which is wild
It's
because
nuts.
there are all these beverage companies, and Eric and I are like, we don't know anything. Like, let's just reach out and see who we can talk to. And every single time we've asked to meet with someone, they've met with us, which has been really incredible, really helpful. We try to do the exact same thing, but I think like the beverage part of it has really grown out of the fact that Louisville, Kentucky, like spirits, bourbon capital of the world, it makes sense maybe to do a lot of other beverage out of here. And we're also kind of centrally located. So if you're thinking about logistics, that's helpful.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because the guy that I told you we have a mutual connection in some way. Immediately they just came up to me and was like, have you met with Eric with Modica yet?
You have to talk to him.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Actually. But it's exactly like you said. It's like if you want to meet with somebody, you usually know at least a couple degrees of separation from that person.
Totally.
And I'm so happy I got to meet you guys and actually taste all these awesome cocktails, and so happy that they're coming from Louisville.
Yeah.
And that you guys are growing all together. How many states are you in right now?
We're in 11 states now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know that we talked about your guys' history, the contents of the drinks. We talked about your distribution. I want to kind of get into, you guys are big into pride, LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit of insight into that and how the Louisville community's been treating you and just nationally overall.
Totally. That's such a good question. Yeah. So Eric and I are both gay. We're registered as an LGBTQ owned business. It's very much a part of like brand identity. It's really important to us. And that was something we thought actually a lot about when we were developing these, because gay bars are so prevalent in the gay community. Lots of LGBTQ people go to gay bars as like just a gathering space.
Yeah.
But those people, just like everyone else, are not exempt from reevaluating their relationship with alcohol. And a lot of those people too are deciding like, I don't know, I don't think I want to drink anymore. But also when your social center is a bar.
That's right.
That becomes a little tricky.
It does.
And so it's been really rewarding. Eric has really spearheaded this relationship that we've built with Big Bar, to develop some really easy mocktail options for people who don't want to drink or maybe want something in between their drinks, because we want to provide that kind of inclusive experience.
Awesome. That's really cool, guys.
How's it going over there with no alcohol?
Doing great. not as much fun as y'all are having, but I'm
Brian,
still having a blast.
Instantaneously, I already felt that promo just wrote itself. We all look over at Eric. Eric looks depressed. Everybody else is happy.
We're going to do a couple of non-alcoholic episodes, so this is giving us a glimpse into, is that a good idea or not?
It's 20-minute episode.
He's like, I'm over it. We're done.
Finished.
Cut.
But I'll tell you what, it would be kind of fun to think of a mocktail episode.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And have them back to do non-alcoholic drinks.
I think so.
Because, everybody enjoys a cocktail in some way or another, and there are a lot of people who don't drink at all. So there's great ways to still feel embraced in that culture.
Absolutely.
And there's people that,
knowing a nightclub and a bar, that it's got to be
definitely
feel totally the same.
Fools. And there's a lot of people that are drink but are taking a break for whatever
Right.
reason. It's sober curious is what they call it. And I think
That's right.
a study just came out. 4 in 10 people in the U.S. are actually consider themselves sober curious.
Nice.
I don't think that's a bad thing by any means. Experimenting and
Yeah.
trying different things and trying just, I'm going to be sober for a little bit. And
I did the dry January this year. I went all of January.
How'd
Didn't
it
have
go?
a drink of alcohol. It went well. I mean,
Yeah.
it was nice. Like, but at the end, I was like, let's do this,
Yeah.
baby. And then we started this podcast, and it's just been downhill since then.
there's not been a dry time since then.
I love it. That'll be me in about 2 weeks.
There you go.
Yeah. So what was, did you just say, I'm just going to take a whole month off?
No really period on it, just kind of taking a little break. It was just getting to where just mental health break, honestly. It
understand.
was nothing that I was doing super often, nothing that was really, super bad, but I just wasn't feeling great in general. And I will say, having taken a break, it's been, I think, a month now. I'm loving it. It's been amazing. I'm absolutely going to start drinking again at some point. It's not forever. It's like
It's the sober
coming back for you,
sobriety
baby.
is driving him to drink.
Don't worry, I've not turned my back on you now.
We'll be back.
We're good, baby. We're fine.
We'll be back. But yeah, for now, just loving it. It's been great. So just going to keep it riding a little longer.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on around people that have gone through and just tried to clear their mind and just get right into it in different ways. And I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
You guys are providing a nice service for those people, giving them some drinks they can have in the meantime. Tell you what.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We knew when we first started Modica we would want to do mocktails, but we didn't know how much of the business that would be.
Yeah.
And just at events when we talk to people, it's probably a third of the people we talk to?
Maybe even closer to half.
Yeah.
Really?
One of my favorite stories too was this family that we met at I think it was a farmer's market we're doing. They were raving about Modica. Like, oh my God, we love it because we have family happy hour. And we have the cocktails and then we make mocktails for all the kids. And it's like a whole family moment. We're just
Cool.
like, that
They
is
sit around and
adorable.
talk about their day and drink
Yeah.
Modica, and I'm like, okay, our film crew will be there
Exactly.
tomorrow
Exactly.
to
That's
capture
awesome.
this.
That's
when
a commercial.
my daughter, I told
Yeah.
them that you were coming on to actually, she asked what you make because clearly a lot of the people come on that make alcohol. She said, she was like asking what it was. I said it's non-alcoholic. I said it's pretty much already kind of a drink in a bottle. And she's like, well, can I have one? And she's like, will they make me one? I said, yeah, sure. There's no alcohol in it. It's fine.
Yeah, totally.
But I like that it's geared to just feeling inclusive about just there's so many people who would love to go to a bar that almost maybe feel like they have to have a drink.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
And this gives them the ability to just enjoy it. Everybody else is drinking. You can, I mean, as a bartender, you can clearly say you can be very creative with a mocktail without having any alcohol.
Absolutely.
Just by all the stuff. I mean, just
it's crazy now that almost drink menus, you almost have to have at least 2 or 3 mocktails or you look silly these days.
Oh, yeah.
And they're delicious. The things that mixologists are coming up with are just amazing.
So speaking from that bar front, what is that? Do you get a lot of people who come in asking for a non-alcoholic margarita or something like that? Is that a very big thing now?
It is, yeah. More so restaurants, I would say, but even like late night at nightclubs for sure, we get a good deal of people. But yeah, it's very much people that don't drink still want to. It's the whole thing. They still want to be included. They still want to enjoy, have a great experience drinking something. They just don't want the alcohol in it.
Right.
It's really, really interesting. And I've actually seen a little increase in sales of non-alcoholic type of beer and things like that. So it's really, really interesting. It's cool to see that people are actually caring about what they're putting in their body also now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know when I was going through that, I was bowling on Friday nights, which
Oh man.
damn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's this brewery called Athletic Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah.
They make a damn good non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
Like this isn't your daddy's like old
No.
Doles, you know. This is some good stuff. And so I would just take a couple of cans of that with me, and like it was just perfect.
It's fine.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know there's somebody here, I can't even remember. You might know who they are, that's making non-alcoholic spirits.
Oh, is it
Spiritless.
Spiritless?
Spiritless,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Doing
good
really well.
friends. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
great.
So I'm sure they can mix that in
Yeah,
here.
we've
And,
actually done some collabs with them. It's
Have
makes a
you?
really
Uh-huh.
great drink. Yeah.
nice.
That's interesting to taste. I'd like to taste that.
Maybe we got to get these two and Spiritless in here and
Oh,
just have
yeah.
a little round table.
Oh, we
some
could do a
mocktails.
whole mocktail.
There
We
you
could do
go.
a whole entire mocktail episode.
Love it.
Totally.
Let's do it, guys.
We love them. They're a lot of fun.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Well,
Look at us.
I'm down. What's yours look like?
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this one.
It's okay. We're pros.
Absolutely delicious.
We're pros over here, JD.
Love it. They'll pick up the slack.
Yeah, we got you.
So we're gonna do a mule next, right?
That's right.
All right,
Yep.
fantastic. Well, let's take a little break, get these rinsed out, and come
Be right back.
Hey, listener, thanks for tuning in. I just want to jump in here real quick and remind you to go check out our website at firkinpodcast.com and make sure that you subscribe on your podcast platform, whether it be Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and rate and review us. It just helps us kind of get the algorithm going and get out there to more listeners. And please share us with a friend. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, I'm sure you have a friend that's going to enjoy it just the same, and we'd like you to share that along. So thanks for listening, and we'll get back to the episode.
And we are back
All
with
right.
the last one we have for these guys.
Mm-hmm. This one I was really excited about.
So what'd you pour for us here?
So this is the turmeric ginger mule. So this one's one of my favorites. I'm a ginger fanatic. So it has fresh ginger, which you'll definitely taste. It's got some spice to it, which I love. Also has some turmeric, which gives it kind of like a nice earthy note. And then lime, obviously. This one is pretty super versatile.
Damn right.
A lot of them are versatile, but this one really mixes with anything. So vodka, bourbon. I think we're mixing with tequila right now, a little Herradura.
Yeah, we did a little Herradura Ultra Añejo tequila on this one.
Mm.
This is delicious.
I love that.
Lots of citrus notes to it. Right over on the side. Makes you really salivate for more.
Yep.
Makes me want to keep drinking more, which makes me want to pour more Modica.
This one is
planned it
the
that
most,
way.
secret.
This one is the most divisive of the three. I feel
Really?
like when we sample it, people either love it or they do not because
Yeah.
of the ginger.
It's aggressive, yeah,
Yeah.
because of the ginger. I mean,
Totally.
the ginger in anything is an aggressive. It's an aggressive spice. It comes over hard. I like it.
Well, I'm going to have to try this with a little bourbon after this.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good
because
bourbon.
ginger
Yeah.
with bourbon
Yeah.
is
It kind of tames down the spice a little bit, and the flavors just go so well together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's great.
Before I left my corporate job, my workplace was incredible. They were so supportive of Modica. They said, "Oh, you should bring some in. Let's do like a taste testing at work." I was like, "Great!" So I brought in at the time just our prototypes, and then like 3 big bottles of booze just sitting on my desk. We're all ignoring our emails. My boss is out there. It's incredible, honestly. And all of my coworkers are trying them. We try the margarita first. We
Yeah.
try the old fashioned. People love them. My friend Becky, hi Becky, she's so great. She loves cocktails. She loves those too. I pour her the ginger. She tries it. I can see immediately on her face it's
Nice.
not for her. She spits it out immediately in the trash can and was just like, "But you know I love you, right?"
What the hell was that?
Well, you better hate that fucking cocktail.
I was like,
Sorry,
"Thanks,
Becky."
Becky, but not putting you in any ads anytime soon."
So she's not in any of the promotional videos.
No, not yet. No.
Didn't pick that one.
No, she's not a ginger gal.
Well, ginger's nice and soothing on the stomach. You know,
Yeah.
it's a good little
Yeah.
thing to put in there.
So before we really get into kind of our closing things that we have set up for you, I want to go through and because we only got the luxury to really taste 3 of the main core products that you have every day, but you do have 2 others that you've also released. So tell us a little bit about those other 2 that we will not get to on camera, but I don't know, me and Brian may pour a couple after.
Hey, maybe we'll record a little something extra.
Yeah,
That's right.
Bonus feature.
Bonus episode.
So we just released these last month. They are the blueberry lavender lemon drop and the cacao espresso martini, and they are already flying off shelves. They are so good.
Mm-hmm.
The blueberry lavender, it's super fruity, juicy, floral, more of like a crowd pleaser. Also super versatile. It's typically meant for lighter spirits, but we mix it with bourbon at the last podcast we were at. It's fantastic. And then
Brian, we should mix this with bourbon.
take notes.
You got that right.
That's right.
And then the espresso martini, I'm sure you know those are super trendy right now. But they're also, if you've ever made one, it's just a pain in the butt to make. It's a lot of ingredients. You have to make coffee. Just not fun. So this is 1-to-1. Could not be easier. And it's about half the sugar of a regular espresso martini. And it's got some chocolatey notes in it from the cacao, some sea salt, some vanilla. It is delicious.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, I really want to try that. Actually, one of the things I want to try, I told you guys I want to try with like some chocolate rum.
yeah.
I do think just some added chocolate would be just a little fun.
We've had a few people with that one even reach out and email us about like recipes they've done with it. Not cocktail recipes, like food
Cooking
recipes.
recipes, yeah.
They'll add it to like baking, and I'm like, oh, that's actually a good idea. Or they'll pour it over ice cream. I'm like, that's a really good idea.
Affogato.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
So
all
good.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can dig
So
that.
you can do a few different things with them.
Hell
And
yeah.
you could still add alcohol and pour it over ice cream.
That's expert level.
Hey, man.
Thanks.
It's how we work here.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, he's going to like how you think even more.
I'll send them all to you, buddy. I'll send them all to you. It's going to say is whatever you're eating, add alcohol.
No, but
That's how we do it.
those do sound awesome, man. Yeah. And I look forward to trying those here in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll try. Clearly, it's market research.
That's right.
Yeah.
Product research. We got to tell them our thoughts, right?
That's right. So here's the fun part.
Really?
All right. So we were thinking a lot leading up to this show. What are
If
we going
anybody
to do?
listens to our show, we know that we get to a game section.
I love game shows. I'm on board.
All right. So
And let me also tell you, we create all of these games ourselves.
That's right.
Sometimes they're shit.
that's right. Be
We'll
warned.
see how this goes today.
I'm gonna take another drink.
Correct.
So we said, all right, what do we got here? We got a guy that came from the nightclub scene, bartender, restaurant owner, and we got a guy that came out of the corporate America, marketing, HR type world. So how are we going to combine these two and make a cool game out of it? But we came up with an idea.
Sure, we did.
Yes, we did.
Could be shit.
We'll find out.
Find out in a couple minutes.
So bear with me here. We're calling this Name the Cocktail and Cocktail the Name. All right.
Okay.
Now, here's what I want you guys to do. I think we'll start with Eric. All right. So you were the bartender. I want you to create, and not just some generic off the shelf. I want you to create a
A
cocktail.
seaweed cocktail.
Okay.
Sure. That's a good idea. And then JD, I want you to come up with a marketing spin, like a nice name for it. What you might call that to
For this
have
cocktail.
it sell off
How
the
are you going to
shelves.
sell his
Okay.
crazy ass cocktail he's going to come up with?
Okay.
And you're going to sell
And
it.
then I want to turn the tables and I want you to come up with a cocktail name
Oh, okay.
and have him create the cocktail for it. All right.
Okay.
So you get to sit on deck for a minute. We're gonna
Okay.
start off. We're gonna start off with you, Eric.
So any cocktail.
yeah, come up
Anything
with the
you
cocktail.
want to create.
Give us the
This is-
ingredients, what it's gonna taste like.
Seaweed.
He's been trying to work on it for years. It's not working.
He's like, it's not happening.
I could go
No.
for it now.
Now remember, we don't want vodka and orange juice.
Yeah, don't try to cheese out this game.
Okay, I'm thinking tequila.
Okay.
Mm.
Let's do some lemon. Some bubblegum infused syrup.
Ooh.
Okay.
Cotton candy garnish.
Mm.
Little rainbow sprinkle rim. and
Ooh.
an electric daisy for good measure.
I like it. I love it. I already have the name ready.
Oh, all right.
All the things I want to call. I am big fans of cocktails that sound both fun and a little bit embarrassing to order when you're talking to another
I love
person.
Yes.
that. I love that.
And then if anybody asks what you're drinking,
This
it's
is what I want to order, but I'm so. Can I write it down and give it to you instead? So we're gonna call this the spicy nicey. I love a rhyming cocktail. We've got some spicy elements. We've got some colorful stuff in there. It's a little too embarrassing to order.
Spicy nicey.
But you
just want to go order that at the bar.
yeah, but
Just to see what that bartender's reaction. What the fuck are you asking me?
I'm making
if you
a what?
wanted a double, you have to order a spicy nicey.
Of course you do.
Or like extra sprinkles is like a spicy nicey. Something like that. Or if it's a well, then if you're doing like well tequila, it's a dicey spicy nicey. Should I be a bartender?
I think you might. You might be onto something here.
That's why he's a
That's-
marketing guy.
That's what we were hoping for when we put together this game. That was the whole idea.
Honestly, it sounds delicious.
It does. Yeah, I could be into that.
I would
Yeah.
love to order that at the bar.
Oh yeah.
Can we make that happen at the hub so when me and Brian walk in?
on the menu
we would
tomorrow.
like the spicy nicey, please.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right.
love it.
You
Order
better
it in your
remember.
deepest voice possible.
want the spicy nicey.
It's for a friend.
Not for me. All right, so now we
Love
got to
it.
turn the tables.
Okay, so now what do? I give the cocktail, or
you
got
got to give a cocktail name.
Yeah, you're
He's
gonna-
gonna
Okay.
create it.
You're gonna
Okay.
give us just some cocktail name.
Just,
Okay.
I mean,
He's gonna tell us
came up
what
with the
it says.
best one right there.
Yeah,
It's
he did.
fucking
How do you
great.
top that?
Yeah. Well, I love, and like I just said, I love when people have to order something that sounds a little embarrassing. So I'm gonna call this drink. It's called a high school Friday night. A high school Friday night. I want a high school Friday night.
All right, Eric.
Oh, you could go.
Somebody steps
so,
up to your bar.
You could go
I'm
so many
thinking-
directions.
I'm thinking, what is the Burnett's?
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure, Burnett's.
That's what it is.
Gotta be like
Jesus.
Burnett's cherry.
Yeah.
Some
He had a cherry. The Burnett's cherry vodka.
the high school.
Love
That's what
it.
that reminds me of.
Yeah.
Gotta be some like Gatorade powder.
Yeah.
You mix it in a big cooler.
I think I've had this actually.
Definitely made this in high school.
That's right. Yeah.
Add a lot of Sprite, some kind of sugary something,
And a bad hangover the next
Yeah.
morning.
You gotta hang over the next morning.
Yeah.
There you go.
Comes with fried eggs the next day.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
That's great. And Taco Bell at 3 a.m.
God, yeah. God, yeah.
Nailed it.
Well, that couldn't have gone any better than what we
That's
hoped.
right. Man, look at you
What's
guys.
great.
It's falling right into place. This is
Like we
right.
said, we have no idea how these games are going to come up when we come up with them, but we think they sound fun. This one worked.
That was great. I loved it. I loved it. Ready for round 2?
That's right.
All right, let's do round 2.
That's it. All right. Guys, thank you so much for coming on and joining us and spending the last little bit with us, showing off your incredible new line of cocktails and mocktails. We can't wait to have you back, especially to come back so you can enjoy
I'm ready.
some
There
of
you
these
go.
amazing
Cannot wait.
bottles. But really, go out and look for Modica in all of our stores. If they don't have it, make sure that you go up to them and tell them to order Modica to make sure that they carry
Demand it.
Yes.
Right. That's right. And then where can we find you guys? You know, where can
Pound
our
your
audience-
fist
That's right.
on the.
Now!
Get
I
the
need it for my
Modica.
spicy nicey. I can't wait for that to be the
Yeah,
new
when you see
flavor
that hit the
comes out.
shelf, you're gonna be like, "Wait a minute,
Be on the lookout.
wait a minute."
Holiday release.
I can't wait.
Bubble gum and rainbow
Yeah.
sprinkles.
Spicy nicey.
Yeah. Spicy nicey.
But really, thank you guys so much for coming out. Where can our listeners find you guys, and anything coming on next that you want to plug?
Yeah. So at Drink Modica, everywhere you would expect to see us. Website, drinkmodica.com. And what's coming up? Anything?
Cincinnati, hopefully.
Cincinnati. Yeah. If you're in Cincinnati, listeners, we're coming for you.
Nice.
And
Love
the
it.
new unnamed flavor, the spicy nicey.
And the spicy night. We do have one more flavor in reserves that we're holding
Is
for
that
like
right?
2024
All right.
sometime.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe you guys should come back on and drink that with us, and we'll
Yeah,
tell
we
everybody
should.
about it.
There you go.
Delicious.
It's a good one.
You'll be drinking by then, right?
I will.
All right,
Yes.
so we'll definitely come back on.
For sure.
Unless he takes another break.
That's right, guys. Again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
We can't wait to have you back, Brian. Close
fun.
us out, baby.
Yeah, I was on your website. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, thank you.
It's a good design.
Thank
Tell
you.
you what, yeah. And these things are awesome, so I appreciate you guys for coming out. But yeah, thanks JD, thanks Eric, thanks to the listeners for tuning in. Find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@FirkinPodcast. Questions or comments can be sent to mailbag at FirkinPodcast.com. Visit our Patreon to become a Firker at patreon.com/FirkinPodcast. Subscribe and rate us on your podcast platform of choice, and make sure to share it with a friend. And until next time, let's raise a glass to the stories behind the drinks. Cheers!
Cheers, guys. See you soon.